right, let's get this party started. I feel like since there's a smaller crowd, I feel like I can actually sit and see this one. So thank you so much for coming along for this session. So what we're going to be running through is a number of different things. Obviously, it's a lot of it's, I assume, is going to be Q&A, but also we're going through a range of different things because we've got the deadline tomorrow to check on listings and all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about a bunch of those different things. Also talk about a few other new things that have popped up as well as a few other different things like that. So what have we got? First thing, I'm just thinking as far as people that were there for Photoshop. I think pretty much everyone did the photo shoot. How did you find that?
George's guys.
Yeah, and because I was sitting, obviously looking at the images, coming through, people choosing, seeing what people have chosen a shot from that. So actually, it's been useful enough to get something out of that. Yeah.
It's a great idea actually organising our call.
Yeah.
So that we can just all, slot and come along and do the shoot and the interview as well.
Yeah. And sort of more of that video footage. We're obviously focusing on getting the images out there first for the program and then taking it from there. Okay. Today, so what I'm going to cover, where we're up to, plus any updates. Also just having a bit of a look through what things look like online as well, so if there's any sort of little tips and things you go, oh actually hang on, that's a good idea, I should do that, or whatever, you can have a look at that. Last week connected to the last minute changes, just covering the sign-up form, just in case anyone's having any particular issues with it. Just confirming what the stage 1, stage 2 confirmation thing was. Then talking about from media and publicity, because we've got a couple of deadlines coming up for that as well. And then questions, but questions are at any point. So do that. Just before we get to dates, I feel like everyone possibly has had a chance to meet each other, either at this or okay. All right. In which case, what we're going to do is just start with just like a little 10-15 second name, what show is, and also if there's a particular question you want answered, just so I can clock it.
I'm Amelia from Collective. We're putting on a show from Too Much Influence about some social media influencers that have joined forces in the house. And they're really realistic and they are the key part of our marketing plan.
Cool. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Joanne and my show is called Cowkeepers, Buttercup and Venus Cowkeepers Extraordinaire. So it's a slightly absurd short play about aging dairy cows. And I've got some questions just about the online program where you've got about the presenter and whether you want a bio from us for that.
Short answer is yes.
And then a photograph as well to go with it.
Yeah, you can have other. It's something where when people are looking at the online listing and they go, oh, hang on, they see about the presenter and go, I actually want to see whether I know these people, what they're about. That's what they'll click on. So, yeah.
And George, you can introduce yourself. And George is more as a production designer.
Okay.
Well, I'm just George.
Okay.
More than that.
Cool.
That's all. That's fine.
All right. Brilliant. You're both working together. Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel. My company is First Work. My shirt is Harmony Fashion Fusion Odyssey.
and tell some stories about them. And you just answered my question, so thank you very much. I'm sure others will.
Yeah, when we have a look at the online list, I wouldn't mind. Hopefully, I can just click on yours as well. First thing, what you did with your little blurb, I thought was quite good.
Oh,
from something that's
steady. Don't praise me too much.
Yeah, remember we're here too.
Can I put that on the poster? Quite good, you said.
just put that as a quote. Yeah.
Good.
Right, okay.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. But yes, of course. As long as everybody loves the photograph, that's fine.
Well, my name is Brandon, and she is my boss, Erica. And I'm a musician. My show name is title is Sit Tactile Jazzy Breezy. So I'm a kind of one-man band style live performance. And my nickname is Jazzy Breezy, known as Jazzy Breezy. So I put that together. So it's simply like people come along and just have a good time with music. And today I have a question about the important dates. So I need to point that out. What I need to do in planning right after today. And I'm very interested about that light. One of my favorite
So we can rent that nice.
Yes. So the short answer is yes. So on with all the gear, all the lights, there's we've got lighting desks, sound systems, T stands, rigs, that kind of stuff. That's all. If you go onto the training.anywhere.is, one of the threads there, I think it's called something like equipment booking, and then it'll take you through, and you can actually you can book things through there, or at least you can see what's available. Yeah. The only thing we haven't done, we haven't locked it all off for the final 3 days of the festival, because basically during that time it'll all be at the paint factory. But other than that, it'll be available to book.
Kia ora everybody, my name is Margarita and I'm doing audio, which means of the night. So I hope to be in the dark, safe place in the dark. I'm doing culture story. It's a little bit deep and not, because I'm using my song, our lamenting instrumental, where I bring up when sometimes it's a little bit deep. It's about suicide and everything else. And also, I'm actually going to be improvising it, so everybody's going to be well, good luck with that. Just sort of taking a picture of myself. And hopefully, because during the last 4 or 5 years, I have not been able to find the black humour in this, so I'm inviting an audience to help me find the humour in it. And that's what I hope to go away. That's my personal little thing, and hope that the audience can contribute. Yeah, kia ora.
And you're looking at, well, not looking at there's like 3 different locations.
I didn't get the radio station. I thought it was too late. They can do it, but
Look, it's still, because we've got that in there. We've just got 4EB in there, because you mentioned 4EB, but we just didn't have the rest of the details.
yeah, the manager should be away sick.
Oh,
And I
okay.
went to one of the meetings, and it was like 2 days after the close off. So
Yeah.
I just said that I felt that I had an extension till Thursday.
Yeah.
So I can talk to you about that, but I'm definitely still going to be manufacturing sand gates.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got one lot of logistics and still need to tweak it, but I forgot that everything should be a little bit easier to tweak.
Yeah, cool. And with the paint factory as well, see,
Yeah.
we want to just double check, just make sure it's in the right spot in the program as well, as far as from the timing.
Right. Yeah, the woman might need to have an accident.
Okay, all right.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and the old butterflies are on my tummy too. I just can't wait till I get into my piece, because everything happens with transitions and so I'm hoping the community out there too, because I've created a trilogy unexpectedly. So there's like Enemy Festival, and if I feel okay, they happen to do a variety show in October for Mental Health Month, which is really awesome. Have an exhibition for Multicultural Month. So yeah, I'm sort of going to put it across here. So, but that's where I kind of, I've always had to believe that wherever I get support or wherever I've been founded or supported, I'm big in media and word of mouth that way. So yeah. I hope we got some good old secretary hands-on people with this technology stuff.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Calvin. My show's called Metamorphoses. It's an enactment, so it's a one-man show with a script, but it's really deeply autobiographical that deals with childhood abuse, neglect, stuff, just stuff. But it's stitched in there is black humour and music. And what gets pooped out the other end is a sort of a statement about men in the current zeitgeist. I won't say any more about that, but that's the nature of the purpose of it, is to be part of a discourse on gender, the new gender agenda. Anyway, yes, so that's what that is. My question includes the one about bio notes, which I wrote
Yep.
about that.
And I think your update's already in there. I think.
Yeah, I looked today, I didn't see it, but that's
okay.
cool,
Right.
we'll get there. Also, someone wrote a comment about the difference between the print and online thing. I didn't even detect that we were dealing with two yet different things, so that'll be a
The
question.
important one is but yeah.
Yes.
The print one's what's already displayed.
What's
Is the
that?
print one what's already displayed? The online one is with the little logistics?
Oh, so
No.
really, they are 95% the same, because most of the details are all exactly the same. The only thing that's different is that with the online program, you don't have a word limit. So with the online, that's why it's with the online, you said, look, we recommend 100 words, but you could go as long as you wanted. Whereas with the print program, we said it's like 32 to 50 words. Yeah. So that is really the only difference, and then how it looks. So so far, and I know jumping ahead, it doesn't really matter. So this process, we were, in the past we've tried different ways as far as doing them at the same time and doing one after the other, and it sort of worked out that we went, actually, look, what we'll do is make sure that everyone's online listing is right, and then we can take pretty much all the details from that, except for the short blurb, which we'll then put into the print program. So that's why we're focused on the online one, and that's what the deadline is for tomorrow. Yeah. And then we'll go on to the print program. Realistically, and once again, really jumping around here, but the online one is the thing that most people are going to see. It's going to be the bit that you take, your elements of or build on for, your media release and so everyone, look, we even argue whether we really do a print program, to be honest, because it's something it's nice, particularly for people who like to book a long time in advance. Generally, an older demographic prefer to look at it that way, but everybody else just looks online, and that's the feedback we get. But we still feel we need to have a print program. But the focus is so that it can be something that can be distributed. Basically, each company or each show can get 50 copies. Yeah, 50 copies, and then also the actual locations as well. So they've got something so that they've got something to spread around as well. But it is very much a pointer, we find. Yeah. And it's nearly like it just gives extra weight to it. Oh, okay, it's in a printed program. It doesn't matter whether they've seen the printed program or not, but people go, oh, well, it's in a printed program, it's part of a festival, and that gives it that extra weight when people are then searching online. At least that's what we've found. Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing with the print one is that
not dependent on coverage. Because I go to Woodford every year, and sometimes I can't see the program online because of the internet. Whereas I
Yeah,
like
okay,
the one,
yes, yeah.
and it's so much quicker. So I think I am obviously of the older demographic, but I stand by paper for that reason.
Look, it has its advantages. In fact, look, you know, to give you an idea of what we've had in the past. So, you know, as an example, I'll pass these around. So this is what we did for 2016. You know, it's just giving you an idea of some of the other formats we've had, and this was distributed within Scenester magazine. And so that's why it's sort of this kind of size and format. And this was, I think, the first time. Oh, there's Anastasia. You know, this is what, you know, it kind of looked like when you kind of got to the show briefs. Yeah.
I think that's the first time I heard of this. Went to the Scenester magazine before shoot.
Right. Yeah.
Next to the $5.
It's a real mix. So we're not doing that format, and we're not doing it within Scenester. So the last couple of years, because of how much they distribute, it's like 30,000 printed. Didn't really feel the feedback we got. The most important part of it is that people actually see it on the front of Scenester magazine. Even if they don't even open up Scenester, they see it on the front. So that's what we're doing this year. So in the issue that's sort of leading into the festival month, you know, it'll be on the front cover of Scenester. So people go, oh, okay, right, Anywhere Festival, and then they'll search it. And yeah. Well, there'll be, and they'll do a few pieces on shows and on the festival as well. So that will happen. There'll be an ad inside, or preferably it should be on the back of the previous issue, and then so that will be the May issue that sort of comes out sort of late May, and then the June issue comes out late June, and that's the one that will be on the front cover of. Because we find it's like 2-3 weeks out. That's when people are really starting to look. Yeah.
I'd like the cover copies for our influencers to be perusing like as like a hidden like Easter egg.
Yeah, we can definitely organise all that.
Have you booked a venue like the Wollongabba or sports complex or something? Because if you've got, they're so clever, get influencers to be part of the show, and then all their followers in Brisbane will go to your show.
Here we go. So sorry. You see certain similarities. You know, big. This is 2017. So that's the year after that one. Now this we did it in this kind of size, also because it was several regions at the same time, and the where are we? And the format that we had basically from the first year was this format. The big difference though was the first year it was this big, and it was just all text basically, and then the next year it was double the size, and then basically we hit this size, and you're probably sitting there counting the number of shows. You go, okay, right, what happened? And we found really this size is just too big. The next size down, like half this, works, and
Like the chocolate bar.
yeah.
So if there's 2 types of chocolate bars, people will choose one. But if there's 20, they often get overwhelmed and not choosing.
Yeah, I've heard that. So as an example, so that's from 2023. This year for Moreton Bay, it's that sort of, obviously the festival is smaller, but it's just easier to manage for that.
Yes.
But we're too big in Brisbane to do this. So that's why we've shown you that format that is, it'll be A5 to video. It will be
Now 50 booths.
like that. Except not, it won't be quite as thick as that. It will be, that kind of size. So, you can fold that back. it'd been one of the reasons why we'd set the festival at a certain size. Because it just went, yeah, I mean, I know looking through the Woodford program, or like, you know, lots of fringe programs, you're just sitting there going, I'm just lost, like, there's too much. Yeah, it goes back to the chocolate or the jam jar analogy. So this year will be a different format again, and that the idea is that it's very much based on, for want of a better word, precincts or regions. So when people open it up, as an example, you know, depending on how many shows are within a particular space, like you'd open it up and it might have as a precinct the paint factory. You'd say your Wrongo paint factory because there's like a lot of stuff there. And then there might be one for, say, West End and New Farm, and then there might be sort of more broader stuff, you know, like this part of northern Brisbane, and then sort of east that, you know, has got West End, Manly and Wynnum, etc. in there. So that's sort of a way of breaking it down so that people go, okay, that's how people look. And then it means it's really easy for us to be able to just extract those bits out and just go, okay, right, here's the 2 pages that are actually important for everyone. They don't really care about everything else. Because what they want is they want the show that is just over there, not the one that's at 30 Hills or whatever. So yeah. Hang on, sorry, what other examples have we got there? Sorry, so there's the book there. So that's, hang on, 2019? 21. Right, this one is last year's. Hang on. Last year's, and this was the Fringe, Brisbane, that we did the year before, which that year's festival was a mixture of Fringe and Anywhere Festival together, which is why you can kind of see certain bits of the style of this and the whole Polaroid look. We sort of took over into that, but we're not continuing to. So that was the end of 22.
Going back to squares,
we're going back to, actually, I'll be able to show you. Yeah, it's, hang on, let me have a look. Right. And so what it will look like that. So yeah. As a double, so you know, A5. So yeah.
that's in the course.
What's that?
I think that image was in the course.
Yeah. Or at least we put it the sort of the training images. Yeah.
It's fun. So that's sort of gives you an idea. And we find that the print program is very much used as a calling card, not just for us, but people specifically as well. So and in the past, lots of people have done different things with the program, and everything from just a simple, depending on the format, they've grabbed 50, 100 copies or whatever, or 200 or 300 or whatever, and have put little sort of post-it notes sticking out of it, or have gone in and just actually circled their show in it, and that's the program. Oh,
that they send down. Yeah. So, and look, that's all that kind of stuff. Go for it. Once again, it helps people, draws their attention in. So yeah.
Do we ask questions or we get there first?
Good question.
I just wonder if schools are going into a community space and it's about linking unity and bringing community together. I'm going to up my numbers because I wasn't quite sure that if I get in-kind support, how does that work? Like if I want to invite them,
as far as being able to provide being able to provide tickets, or
Yeah,
from that
so
point.
that they
Yeah,
can
yeah.
actually come along, they can be at the space.
Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, so with the ticketing, so see that's all run through us, and from the point of view of the numbers, yeah, we've put that in so far based on the capacity that you've told us for your different spaces. It's easy for us to close off, say 10, or add another 20 seats if you wanted to do that.
I thought it would be better to put it out.
Yeah.
Because when they get the numbers and they can close it off, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Was
look,
it better to get the number advertised?
yeah.
And it can add the people that are coming in to support as part of that?
Oh, yeah, so what I do is we'll set up so that basically when just before the tickets go live, so on the May the 14th, 15th, that we'll give you all, it'll be effectively the same coupon code, so that you can just go in and book your comps whenever you want. And it's up to you. If you want to comp out the whole thing, you can do that. If you want to just comp out 10 of them, then you can do that as well. There's no charge on that. We don't charge.
I'm also doing accessibility on quite a big level as well, so
Yeah.
I need extra help and support to make sure that those
Yeah.
guests are looked after.
So one thing we also set up as well, we've done it sort of based on what people have said about the accessibility, or when people have said, okay, they want to have some people want venues where it's not really possible to have a ticket and a companion ticket as well. Whereas for a lot of people that is possible. So we just have something set up that is a coupon code that when you're able to then either share or put in directly and say, hey, you can book for my show, and the companion gets a free ticket, as an example. And when they put it in, when they put it in, it'll just add that extra ticket on there. So they'll book one ticket and then we'll add the extra one on. And so when they then check out, they'll go, okay, cool, you've got one, which might be a paid ticket, and a free companion one. So that thing, along with, remember we asked about the Anywhere artist prices for your shows. So that's something that will also be worked out, or will apply automatically. What we'll do is, before we go live, we'll share with everybody, all of you, what all the deals are. Because some shows have said, oh look, we're going to offer 10 free tickets on the first performance, but after that nothing. Whereas other people have said, oh look, it's $5 off or whatever. So at least you've got that list, and it'll be something where similarly you use a coupon code. When you're booking to see other shows, there will be some slightly weird version on Anywhere Artist 2025. Not too obvious, so other people don't try it. And when you put that in, it'll just apply that automatically. So that all those things that you've put in when you gave us all the details will be put in there and be there when tickets go live in May. But there's no limit. It's up to you. As many or as few as you want.
Will you be speaking to us tonight about the May 7 media release date?
Yes.
Right over there.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing.
No, okay, good. Okay. Rightio. Where are we? We are right here. Now. What else we got there? Okay, alright, so, we're all the way through these dates. Sorry, that's not incredibly legible. We're down here to the 28th of April, 29th is the deadline, sign off the online draft, and then basically the days following that it'll get updated, and we'll just send you another email saying, hey, all the updates have been just have a look and make sure that all looks good to you.
Okay, just to clarify that concept of sign-off is a bit like the process we already did, giving feedback about little tweaks.
Yeah.
It's not actually like, I'm done, I've checked your latest version and that's it.
Well, ideally, you know, that what you're giving to us by tomorrow, then gets properly applied by us, and then it's all good. And it's, you know, look, and even at the moment, from the forms we've got back, about half the people have said, yeah, it's all fine. There's no changes, as an example. Interestingly, we also like kind of wide in the net as far as what can be seen. Like obviously, you're looking at your own, but as you know, we've got it sitting there so you can, at the moment, search everything online. And I'm always fascinated at the amount of times that someone picks up something on someone else's show. Yeah. So we've gone, okay, we don't want to lose that. Yeah. Okay. Looking at the deadlines coming up, the dates. So yeah, 29th tomorrow. Then it'll be on the days that follow that. We'll then update the listings. 7th of May is for media release deadline. So that is to have quickly, a media release, one page media release, and a couple of other images. We will give you a link so you can actually just upload it straight to a folder on Google Drive. The reason why we do this is so that when we do that first initial launch in the middle of May, that folder will basically be where we keep sending people who want information about the show. So that's why we want to make sure that it's already there, so that when we're inviting other reviewers or contacting Phil Brown or whoever it is, and they say, okay, right, where are all your media releases? We go, they're here, and they can see them all there.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I was doing something on the phone. What is it? Are we making it ourselves, or is it a compilation that you're putting together of our materials? I just missed the details.
Oh, okay.
What we're supplying.
Okay, so over the course of time, we'll be doing a number of media releases that might be, say, focusing on a particular area or something like that. But no, this is more just media release about your show. Yeah. So it's specifically one about your show.
And we have the opportunity of choosing some materials, photographs, videos, whatever. And you've got a pro forma for us to guide us in that process?
Yes, so there is, so this section in the course, it's just got a couple of, it's got a couple of examples. There are really two different ways of doing it, and they're both important to do. One is thinking of it more as a factual thing. It's more just saying, okay, this is the show, this is the key details, this is the people that are involved, blah blah blah. It's still just one page. The second one is the thing to help people have a look at. It's really this idea of, I suppose, finding the story, and it's not necessarily. We're not saying the story of the play. We don't want you to recite the story of the play. There might be a story around it. And as an example, I think one of the examples we showed is there was a play that was done, and one of the actors that was involved with one of the plays, he'd gone on a bit of a journey, being ex-army, and certain things happened, and that's how he got involved with this production. And from a old school media point of view, I like those kind of stories, and you possibly also know as well, depending on what you read, the things you read, you can see where there are either particular sections where they focus it in a particular way, where it might be talking to somebody who might be their 5 favourite local cafe wonderful, and it's obviously slightly evil, I know we've talked about this, is because they are just so format driven, it is so, and your basic stuff is already going to be up on the web. You can probably knock out a draft in about 5 seconds by just asking ChatGPT to write you a media release for, or a piece based on The Guardian's blah blah blah, using information on my web link page. And that will give you a starting draft and a sense of format as well. You'll have to do some work on it because it's going to be ChatGPT. But from the point of view of really quickly putting together something that's in the right format for to be able to distribute to media, it kind of saves time. You can actually spend time on the more interesting part of it.
Do you have an amount of words?
Yeah.
Is there a
Yeah.
certain amount of words that you have? Because it makes it easier
Yeah.
and harder.
As an example, it can be as simple as like with ChatGPT. I know there are a number of different ones.
You can also search for template as well.
Yeah.
Show name is like insert something here about what. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think that the thing I learned is you can actually be quite detailed about it as far as what you specify. And we've used that to create a base for a social media plan where we went, okay, right, the festival it's on at this time, here's a program with all the shows, it's on at this time. I want a weekly social media plan that's going to go across Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, with a focus on each of those platforms, and it will spit out something which is like 60% kind of there, So from a point of view of writing a media release, you've never written one before. That's the thing I look at. But definitely have a look at the section in the course. It's in 1.5, the marketing bit, and there's one that I think it starts with saying what's the difference between marketing and publicity, and then it has a couple of examples in there.
So, follow-up question. I got the sense that maybe, again, I might have missed this, we're conceiving of media outlets that might hungrily, devour this information and share it. And your comment about format, where you gave the example of The Guardian, blah, 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 was to recognise that some of these are format obsessive. And so if we're doing ChatGPT, we're going to say do it in the format of. Okay.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure this isn't anything new to anyone here, but it doesn't matter what the media format is, whether it's Career Mail or whether it's someone that's got an online blog. That's the easier you make it, so they don't have to do much fiddling around. The easier it is for them to put it in, and it's always been like that.
I'm utterly ignorant of all media generally. I don't pay any attention. I have done for 20 years.
Yeah.
So
Look, nothing much has happened really.
I should say,
so
your favourite gyms, 5 favourite gyms that don't make you feel emasculated. Here's because it's
You're very creative. I like that.
related to your theme, but in a way you can like talk about you without talking about you.
And if I pick up on that, because mainstream maindia outlets, you'll know it's shriveling. There really aren't that many. However, what you're talking about is a really good point, because some of those things, it also works as a great host, because say you're doing that and you're tagging those 5 gyms or whatever, and bringing them in. Yeah.
I'm trying to think, outlets. Who watches anything anymore except that bloody wild west of just content? No sense of outlet, you see. But your tagging is bloody great. I'll do that.
And the other thing I'd tag onto that as well is, depending on how many followers you've got as well, is that one thing we've found gets a lot of traction. It takes a little bit of time, but most people don't put it on the plan because they're always going to go, okay, right, I've got my social media platforms and I'm going to put it online. As people forget about the power of commenting on others. So, as a way of being able to, if you're getting to a point where your page is following a number of, whether it's you individually or your page is following a number of different things that are connected, whether it's geographically or interest or whatever. Once again, it's just another little thing, or just a couple of people might see it, go, hang on, what's that, and then they'll follow your link through and then go to your page. So that's definitely from a social tactic.
Yeah, so our character, who is a gym goer, might also contact, comment on your post. And if you respond, and if it's like more words, the algorithm doesn't like emojis.
There's no what?
Emojis. No, just emoji. If it's just an emoji, that's like a dummy comment. So put a sentence. Say, which gym was your favourite? I don't know, if you ask something in the comments, then I can respond with something ridiculous, like, actually none of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, look, I mean, one thing we played with a bit last year, worked, but obviously it was a bit unique for us because we had several different festivals. So the festival started sort of trash talking each other.
Yeah.
And it was, obviously we could control the whole thing, but then people kind of found it slightly funny as well. So it was like, yeah. But yeah, so that's cool. Tangenting again, but within that 1.5 marketing section on the course, there is two sections that follow each other. One is four stages of marketing, and then the next one actually goes, right, do you just need like 100 different ideas? And it's just a list of different little things. And it's saying, okay, right, you're not necessarily going to do all 100, you might just need 20, but if you think of each of those and going, okay, right, I need to get a certain number of people and approach people in different ways instead of just doing, stock standard, okay, here's, 5 weeks of rehearsal pictures, then that hopefully give you some ideas as well. Some of it's online, some of it's in person, in the real world,
I've held off on my social media strategy because the ticket sales aren't available. I know my people are ready to buy, and I don't want to piss them off. Kind of thing.
No, there's no. What do you want to make sure that? Yep, absolutely agree. This is what I've said to people. Said that people want to talk about the festival. Absolutely, there's no embargo, but there's obviously nothing to point them to.
Yeah.
I mean, it is live, but it's only live so that you can check it at the moment. Yeah.
It's okay to have them geared,
Say again.
have them, it's okay to have them charged,
Yeah, but I feel like I've got them to that point, and now I'm just edging. I just need to get them some ticket sales.
You can,
Yeah.
you can put a maintenance bonus,
Yeah, that's right. And I've been doing basically.
Sorry, what did you say?
A maintenance post, to keep them engaged and think about and just announce about.
But the feedback
Or what you could do, and this is another thing I wanted to mention about just ticketing more broadly as well. So you could, maybe as I said, yours are all cool. They're all ready, so you don't have to do this. But it's you may go, okay, right, tickets are going sale. Let's say if you want to be, the first to get tickets, or we're going to have the first 10, they're going to be front row seats or whatever.
We're going to be front row seats.
Front row seats, or whatever you feel is special. I mean, for certain people, that might not really be a special thing, but doing, something like that. Yeah.
First 10 tickets, I'll get a VIP meet and greet.
Yeah, you won't we're getting the introverts onto that. It's like, you know, I always have the thing, just, you know, being the festival director, that, you know, I'll turn up to a show and of course it puts me up front, and I always end up being, you know, I'm the person that people keep on looking at, you know, so it's sort of like, okay, no, can I just sit at the back just for a bit? I just don't want to be part of the show. Anyway, so media releases. So yeah, go and have a look at the course there for some formats. But otherwise, yeah, just, you know, Google as well. But yeah, this whole idea of finding new topics for what can also be your social media posts as well, and angles. Yeah, and yeah, chuck it in GPT and ask it for some ideas. It always gets wacky stuff out of it. Yeah. So that's for the 7th. The meeting was for the 7th, and that was just so we had enough of that material there for when we go live on the 14th. We can point, because we will actually send that link to key media a few days before the launch, so they've got time to then be able to run something on the day, and they know not to run beforehand. So. What's that? Yep. Yeah, it can be all, you know, bundled together. We find people, depending on, depending on different, you know, email restrictions, we tend to have it so that, don't attach a big document. Do it as a link. We tend to actually have it so that the text, or at least teaser text, is in there. There's enough tease text in the email, so that they can pretty much look at it without, if they're looking at an email on their phone, you can think of it that way. It's just enough text there so they go, oh, okay, yeah, I think I could run something on that. And then there'll be a link that will give them the rest of the details. Because otherwise, if it's everything there, they'll go,
Yeah. So are you organising radio days?
Yep. Yeah, so we tend to, like, really from this point of view, like, radio is, and for what we do, radio works quite well for most shows. Just because, it's obviously about a performative, element to everything. So, we have a list that we're just going through, just making sure it's updated at the moment, that we'll share, that has, we'll be going to them, but we'll also be encouraging you to go, okay, right, once again, just find, the few that work for you, to be able to, contact as well. And what happens is, once there tends to be two bumps. We find the bump when launched, and they go, okay, right, that's news. The festival's launched, here's the program. Then the next one tends to be like a week before the day of the show, of the first performance. And that's why we're trying to, we've talked about this, having something in the middle of June as sort of like another bump for the festival. So that we go, okay, right.
Are you going to do it in June?
I don't want to have too much influence, but we also could do that, yeah. But there are just so many different angles. What we do, we'll bundle or highlight particular ones where we know that will work for a particular presenter, or at least we give them a few options to say. Once again, we don't want to give them too much. We just say, here's the festival. They go, we go, okay, here's like 5 or 6 we think will work, and then they'll go, oh, actually, you've got something else.
Yeah.
And the upshot of all of this is to get us into studios talking about our show rather than more text.
Yep.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yep. Look, and it's something where, because the news of the day is always changing as well. I mean, sometimes that's negative because there's some topic is just so big, there's no point trying to get in on it. but you know, on other days, it's easy to just focus it in a different way. Cool. Okay. Kind of very much jumped around. So, I just wanted to mention here on the dates as well. That's just an update. It's just the little introductory update is the Anywhere Awards. That works. In the past, we've done a variety of different ways, but it's a mixture of industry/reviewers, people involved with the festival and nominating shows. There's a bit of a hive mind going on there, as well as audience votes. It started primarily as an audience vote, and it's probably 50-50 now. And it's always been something where we've also, from an audience vote point of view, it factors in what your total audience capacity is. So if a show that only has a total capacity of 50 people gets 25 votes compared to a show that had 300, but had a capacity of 1,000, then but in the past we've tried. Last year we had the Anywhere Awards much later in the year. Tried to make it a Christmas or a pre-Christmas type thing. Years before that, what we've done is most of the time it had been a week or two after the festival. This year we're going to cram it into the final night of the festival. Yep. So that will be like a final night event. It will be at the Paint Factory, and it'll also mean that with the voting, normally the voting would open it up at the end of the festival for whatever it was, a week or 2 weeks, a week and a half. Whereas this, basically, it'll open up at the start of the festival, though people will not be able to vote until the show has actually happened. And we also have it so that but a couple of things that work really well as far as getting rid of spam votes. One, we ask people to say why they're nominating the shows. So just write a sentence or two. And the second one is we give a higher weight if they put in their order number, so we know. Yeah, so we know they've actually gone to the show. Yeah, we can check that pretty quickly. Yeah.
So what else is there apart from audience vote? You mentioned something else that involves you and your team. How do you organise that?
Yeah, look, every year it's different, and we do that intentionally because Neville, really early on, we decided we didn't want to necessarily have an award for a particular type of show or a particular type of award, and then have years we go, well, I don't really think anything kind of made the grade. So every year it tends to be different, but broadly speaking, it would be based around genre, different genres, particular. Also depending on, because it'll be different. Not just genres, but different groupings of shows. So might not necessarily be, say, the best immersive show, but there might actually be something that is more connected to the sound design or lighting.
You'll have to attend the show, someone from the team will have to attend.
Yeah, we'll have it so similar to what the Matildas do, where we just say, look, we want to make sure 3 people have seen it, and that could be a mix of reviewers, us, and then also some key people that have either worked with Anywhere in the past or respect, or industry people that we are happy to accept their feedback. So we'll be doing that. So that's how that was the one other new bit on the dates. There we go. Okay, the sign-off form. Has everyone seen it or used it? I've just had a few questions from people who've said that there's nowhere to put in the detail, and so you just got to tick all of these, and then it comes up. All right, we don't need to do that then.
Well,
but basically,
as I said, I wasn't sure there were 2 different things. You just said there's something about the 30 to 50 word short, and that's the only difference. So what would we be ticking both boxes?
was so basically we just got the one form. So then when we send you a copy of the print, which we haven't yet, you'll just use the same form.
Yeah.
You'll tick print.
No, got you.
Yeah.
So thank you. Sorry if I see.
No, that's okay. It was sort of casual, so just in case we did happen to do them at the same time, we could.
Yeah,
You could sign it off.
So we'll be doing this twice possible.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Hopefully the second time will just be a.
Yeah, most of
Yeah,
it.
it's all done because you've done. Yeah.
Next week we sit mine off and I had it finished. Today. So I sent the pictures and said it's not complete.
Yeah. And look, and as I suppose you know, it's just free form text, so but it also allows you to upload, so that people could, if they wanted to do screenshots and put circles around things and say, hang on, this bit's wrong or whatever.
Did you send that link to us recently in an email?
Yes.
Yeah.
Deadline. There's. I know that's not the easiest thing to remember.
That's right. Photograph. We'll get that.
All right. Okay. All right. So the other thing I wanted to mention, we talked about potentially before things go live, being able to have sign up and we'll let you know first. We'll let you know first before everything. The other thing that we can do as well is we can have waiting lists. So if you sell out and you go, okay, right, we want to do additional performances, and adding on additional performances is easy for us to do as long as it's okay with your location to do that. It's easy for us to set up another performance. And this is the first year where we've actually had the waiting list. So what we'll keep an eye on when it looks like a show is like basically filling out, depending on how many other performances there are. Because we want to encourage people to obviously buy tickets to the existing performances, but then we'll do a waiting list to catch those people that possibly don't buy a ticket, but we know they're interested.
Are you able to, say for example, because we will spread out 3 hours, but if the, say, a lot of people that might be over an area that I'm performing, are you able to, help you collaborate, but how do we know who's in our areas?
Yeah, so a couple of ways. What we'll do is, before we go live, and there's a few things we share amongst everybody, is just your contact details. So you've got like the key producer for all the other shows, all the socials that you provided us, and because we'll be sending you something saying, hey, look, go and follow everybody else. So we can just keep get all that activity going on, self-flaming each other, whatever. So that would be the one, and then it'd be a thing being able to have a look at some of the shows and go, okay, who's on near where I am. And that's something, if you want, you can actually do now whilst we've got the other. Because with the search, you can search and just type in a name or whatever, but you notice, depending on whether you're looking on a desktop or a computer, that there are other little categories that you can search on. So you can either find your shows by price or by location, and that's another way that you can have a look around. And we've had a few acts do that.
I noticed that when you type in almost the full title of our name, another show pops up with a completely different title.
Yeah.
Is there someone?
Does your show still pop up though?
Yeah, but it's number 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
So there's like 2 of this lady with cupcakes, and I don't know how she had to do much in her search engine optimization.
Is that too much influence, or?
If I write too much or too much in, she comes up first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So is that?
I mean,
can we put it outside of this keywords?
Yeah. Drop us a line about that. Because I think I would imagine that it's not just searching by. It doesn't just search by the titles it shows,
Must be
but in the text within it.
Yeah.
And also it's something where something because I don't know if anyone's seen the TV show called Episodes. Try searching for that show. Try googling episodes of TV show, and because obviously episodes is just never. So anyway, we'll have a look and see. But I imagine if it was like too much in, like I could see what we can see whether
It's not even,
we can make that sort of more sort of the first choice. Yeah, change that priority. Yeah.
Our audience is probably more likely to be lazy, so two.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And
Look, there is so much we can do. Yeah.
so
All right.
I'll give you some keywords if we can add them, that would be great.
Look, so online listing, hopefully this is fundamentally what I think it looks like. Yeah, we've all seen about the presenter there.
We need to be those.
Yeah.
Our presenter ones.
Look, it's something which I think it's valuable to have there. Like, from looking at the stats, not that, it's 2 to 5% of people that, are going on here possibly have a look at it. And what we've found, and looking at it, most of the ones that did it are acts where they're ones that have come back. It's either the company, like actually someone like this in Pro Queensland, or
So did they use the additional information box then? Because there was no place for it.
What's that?
My one was already there, but from last year.
Yeah.
So it was already.
Yeah, there'd be certain people like yourself where you might just want to update it or something.
Yeah, updated like
Yeah.
Because I didn't see where I could have added it.
Oh, just in that whole text field. Yeah, I think.
So with that in mind, because obviously I would like to add them,
Yeah.
the deadline for that, is that still tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's lucky I know myself relatively well.
But you'll have a team focused heavily on incoming emails tomorrow. What time of the day is the deadline?
Yeah. Look,
Because
So
I need to check that, because I haven't checked in the last, say, 12 hours to see what
I think we took on feedback from the last deadline. Said okay, no 2 p.m. was too confusing. So we've done it at midnight, but I think there's a little comment saying we might not necessarily be checking at a certain time. So we recommend you get it in during the day.
So how is it best for me to supply my presenter?
Yeah, just go back to that and just change put the details in here.
And you don't want it too long, right? You want it relatively excellent.
Yeah. Sorry, what was it? Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's part of that job.
Look, I think it all depends. I suppose think of it the way that why you would look at it on someone else's.
Absolutely.
And for me, and I think this is what, when I mentioned your blurb, having a story about the reference to the record company Elvis Costello, I went, oh, okay, hang on, so who is this guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think just having enough in there to be able to go, oh, okay, cool, right, okay, I get it.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm keen to hear it played out. Yeah. So I think that's the way I would think about it.
Cool.
It might not. The other thing that is possibly something you might want to have a look at, but it might not be applicable. It's once again it's something that's more applicable for shows of people that have been in a festival before. A number of times we'll sort of have a look through it and go, actually you should make a reference to the fact you did this show last year, because then people go, oh yeah, cool, I saw that show. I liked it, and I'm going to come to this one. It's just giving people those reference points. So yeah. Cool, thank you.
So I'm sorry, Paul, to be that guy, but you pointed at that confirmation screen, and said if you wanted to put some detail, you just pop it in there. But there's no field for free text adding some detail or commentary on that thing.
Yeah, just online listing. We're just talking about the online listing.
Yeah, but I thought you were saying use that form to make a comment, further corrections, add my bio.
Or
I see no field. Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'll call that.
No, when you
fields will appear if you
correct me if I'm wrong, but when you tick on it, it comes up with a field, and then underneath it, it's got a little description saying anything about your listing or bio.
Okay,
blah, blah, blah.
thank you.
Yeah.
And that's for all the keywords.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
So I can confirm, for example, that that bit of text I sent hasn't gone up yet.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll write tomorrow and say, hey, that hasn't gone up yet.
Look,
I don't know, actually, I just said.
I know a couple of tests have been done just to make sure it's all there, but we know a lot of people send another one before the deadline, so it's like, well, we're not going to put it all in and then do it again because they've made other changes. Yeah. So we tend to wait until the deadline and then we do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. How can I sign off on it then?
But I got my notification. I saw they put some media cheat sheet.
Idiot cheat sheet.
Yeah.
I think so. That was.
One, two, three. Yeah, what's that? Oh, I sent to
Oh
them.
yeah. So that was what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll send you this link so you don't have to remember this. That's where you upload and go, okay, here's my media release, here's the 3 images I'd like to be, I think will be used.
So can we see extra photos on this app, or do we just have the ones?
No, you can. We'll be recommending like three photos probably.
No, we've got to do tomorrow. Do we put extra photos?
No, it's just one for that. Yeah, this media thing. This
I'm
is
not
for the
taking
set.
this in the budget. What's it?
Yeah.
Let's not.
I know it's sort of like it's like a number of different deadlines. We find people sort of have to sort this bit out first before they feel like they can do the next one. So that's why if we do it all at the same time, kind of.
Like a wave.
Yeah. Funny stories. Yeah, we've already talked about that. Drama program. Yeah, we already talked about 1.5, the section about 4 stages of marketing, all the list of just different ideas. We already had a look at that, so you can see basically what that looks like. So this when we happy that we've got all the details in the online, that's sorted, then we'll then put this together, and so you'll get, this will probably be a double page, so to sign off, and it will have yours as well as obviously whatever else is on that page as well. That's the print sign off part of it, Yeah.
About the next part of the payment, is that just going to cover the following days?
And once again, as I said, it was just something where we split it up into 2, so people didn't have to do it all up front when they went, well, look, I don't even know if I'm going to get a venue and when I'm going to get locked in. So we went, right, we'll just do the first part that's about getting to here, and then the next part that is from here onwards. So it's going, okay, right, these are all the parts that you get.
And what would be, I know it's depending on how many audience capacity, will there be like a way to go?
Oh yeah, okay. So that's it. So what we've actually done with this, thought that was just getting a bit too confusing. And it was the first time we tried to. The intention was that traditionally it would have been $295, but we wanted to have something so that, like for smaller capacity shows, it didn't have, or ones that were easy to set up. There was a slight difference. So we basically just changed it to go, okay, right, there's really just 2 tiers, and if like your total capacity is under the most it will be exactly the same as it has been in the past, so $285, but it will also be about $50 less if it's like a small show. Yeah.
So it's buying a total over, say there's 2 shows, my capacity is 60, but over the 2 shows it's 120.
Yes, yeah.
Just the over, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put the link there. And basically, once we've, I think from the timing point of view, so okay, so tomorrow we get finalised. There'll be a couple of days. Saying also Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, it'll probably be Friday, and that we then send it and I'll go, okay, right, all those changes have been made. There'll still no doubt be a few shows where there was still something up in the air, or there was just something a bit tricky, but we'll highlight that with whatever show that is. So say for example, sorting out 4EB or whatever it is, then we might go, okay, right, we just need to do another draft of that. Yeah. And when we send that out, then we'll send out the info about the stage 2 as well, along with the media, where to upload things for the media as well, so you've still got a week to be able to do that.
Yeah, so
Yeah. No worries.
You did say there was a new venue. Is it House and Garden?
Yes.
I'm not interested in it, but I was curious about the venue. Like, I'm not interested in having a performance there, but it just sounded interesting.
Yeah, look, so we had a couple of things. So may remember that we went up with the tramway, the tram museum, but we really just didn't get any interest in that. So we've been on proceeding with that. With Fish Lane, mentioned basically that there was the intention to do things on Saturdays, or at least the first 2 Saturdays, and then the Paint Factory would be the final weekend. And then it just happened like that. We've got like 2 people that are their sort of event activations, and they were both major illnesses and disappeared, and then only really just came back to us like 2 days ago. So we haven't sort of advanced that. They're still keen to do something, but we'll actually have a look at the program now and see where everybody's at, and see if there are also other people that, there were a few people that were specifically interested in Fish Lane that we know didn't want to go anywhere else. So we're just having a look at that, but we're kind of just running out of time for it. And their house garden is space not just over there. And it was it's a upstairs architecture building, downstairs it's basically the bottom floor of the building, and it's effectively used as a garage and a storeroom, but it's actually nice blank space. Well, it will be once they've taken it out of it, which they. Sorry.
Do they have a garage?
Yeah, like it's all like all undercover, so concrete walls all around, and I mean I've got pictures of it, but it's just full of crap. Yeah, but they said, look, we want a reason to be able to get all this out, and the guy who's the main architect there is background in arts, performing arts, so he was just interested to do something. And I think he mentioned also his daughter is involved with one of the other shows as well. So, but yeah, so it was more that we were going, okay, right, we'll have a look at who's still looking for something, and if that is possible, we'll see if we can organise something over the next few days. But if it's something where you've already got spaces, we're probably not going to pursue it. But yeah, it's once again still very much just running out of time to do that. They came at the last moment. Maybe next year. But yeah.
No, I'm just what creative spark or something like that. But yeah.
Look, there are. It always happens when we kind of get to the deadline. People start. Okay. Oh, you look at space. Oh, you look at like, well, it's, you know, we just need, time for people to be able to, chat with them and then work out what kind of shows are going to work in there. And, so at the moment, look, there is about 53 shows. Oh, sorry. So one of the bits there, just having a look at the online. Have I got it here? Yeah. No, that's not it. This is just a test page. This is not the live page. It's just so that you can kind of just see everything. And this is live. I'm happy to share this link if it's something that you feel would be useful to have a look through. So at the moment we've got just a few sort of one-off things. So the Anywhere Awards, the campfire sing-along that was also just before the Anywhere Awards. This big mining and string quartet show at St. Patrick's Church. It's a one-off. And then I think this is actually just all. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. Who's that house?
So once again, as I said, this is just from our reference point of view, just to be able to look. This is not what's going to be live, but it's useful to have a look at, just so you can go, okay, we'd rather, even though we'd rather not change anything at this point, if you sit there and go, actually, look, I really don't. I think something would work slightly better given what everything else looks like. We'd rather change it now than later. There are a couple we still need to change. Like for example, it's like we said, look, no text on images, at least for this image. So anyway, I can send the link for this, and you can see this. Okay.
It's been designed over this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me on the other side.
So there's a bit of text on some of those. What's the status of this from an editorial point of view?
So this text is actually, I think we're just grabbing this from the excerpt, which I think is actually a print program, because it was a shorter thing, so we're going to go right.
No, I meant the text in the image, like Bare Truth and the other one that had text on it, and you said something about no text on images.
Yeah, so we've gone back, that's like a really good reason. Sometimes it's part of the design, and that makes sense. I think that one does. Whereas this
That's too busy anyway. It's pushed.
I mean this one we're still waiting on. This one. Yeah. And it's something where you've got that space to tell the story visually, because you've got the text describing it underneath it, so you don't need to waste that space. You want to make it as clear as possible. And look, and on the whole, like I don't know if you've sort of clocked images from previous years. Like overall, the level of images is much better than those. There's still some great ones in there, but overall,
This be too much?
I think the small
Yeah, maybe without the small text, but without with.
I think I may go back without. I think so. Yeah. Because I think, hang on, because yours.
I've changed mine.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's good news. Because I would have just said it with the. Because looking at it, I think it's how. My main thing would be is, I suppose, how close you are to the camera. Like when you look at these images, like any of these here.
Scroll back up.
You're on a big screen.
Oh, there's that one.
Yeah, too much. Yeah. So, I mean, even from my point, I mean, I know there's important detail here, but I would nearly be inclined to actually cross that one if you want to be honest.
Yeah, because those people are very far away. That's my goal.
too far away.
Yeah, I just had to put that up for the deadline, and then I was like, I'm doing something better.
Yeah. I know it's hard because you've got the fabric, and it's just like, okay, how to.
Where is this so much better?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what my question relates to, because if you use the thing I submitted for the program, I think I've got something better as well, which is why I asked, what's the status of these things? Are they changeable?
Look, you.
We wrote to you.
You're trying to, because with that form, you can add an image.
I'm happy with it in the program.
Yeah.
I was just thinking this is a separate kind of display, or is it not? Is it just, is this actually linking to the program in the same way everything else in the program is shown?
Well, these images, these I mean, you get about 10 images. When people are looking, online, that's the image. So even with like with that one, I even think that they've actually they did the shoot at manufacturing, and I think there's actually a better image, because I think the thing they're missing out of that is drama. Just having one person, given what drama / comedy, because of what it is. I think they're just kind of missing that a little bit. And then down here, so there was more one-off. So this is where you are at the moment. So this, I think it should be every show. Yeah.
That's good. Who's chaotic? Who is that?
So that's DJ musicians. Madam Nightingale, so she was in last year's festival. It's Melbourne based. It's coming back again. But so that at least once again, I'm happy to share that if that's easy to look at it that way.
It's just nice on a big screen, that's all.
Well, see, the thing is, if I shared that link with you on your phone, it would basically be picture text, sort of more like going through Insta,
Can I get a photo of that on the show? Like, on the TV?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. How do you want to do it? So hang on, you want me to grab too much influence?
Yeah.
Oops, hang on.
Not too far, but we'll post it on the socials.
Look, I'm happy to play with it. Like, as an example, like this, that image wasn't obviously like that. And it was actually wide, like though it was much wider shot. And we said, well, actually, look, it actually has more drama if you kind of look at that and go, hang on, how did they do that? So then we just flipped it around and cropped it in much tighter. Hang on, sorry, what was it? How far?
Pointing at the floor.
Too much influence. There you go. Just hang on, was up or down?
Oh, it's up. Yeah, one more. No, there it is. Thank you.
There's a Rodaki aspect. Influences, a couple of them go on a road trip. So if we're looking for a cafe to stage some of our content in, do you have a cafe? Is that where you've got?
No, it's going to be a kitchen.
Oh, it's a kitchen. Cool. Sorry about Google reviews and we show up at your house. And then a cow and something.
Can you tell me, is that still recording or has it stopped? If it's still recording, can you still recording? Bye bye. Can you stop it now?